All right.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome.
Welcome.
Well, hello.
Come.
I think people get the idea. We're welcoming them. Welcoming them.
Welcome. Hi, Channing.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Fleeting Thoughts. It is time for the show to start.
I never should have joined you in this endeavor.
This has become a huge waste of my life.
Every single week I've got to spend about 2 hours with you. It's a big waste of my time.
Well, you could leave at any time. I'm not making you do it.
But then you'd have to sit here by yourself and make up with stupid voices.
I could do that. I'm pretty sure I do that every day.
How are you? Hello.
I'm good. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
We're here.
Yeah.
Already doing weird shit, so.
I'm glad. It's episode 20.
20
weeks. That is near half a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
27 is half a year, so 7 more and we'll half a year. Yeah, and we'll just be
Season
done.
1's wrapped up and
half a year and
we got canceled by the YouTube broadcast and
yeah, we
they
got
won't pick us
canceled
up for a second season.
Yeah, they didn't our viewership didn't warrant the
I'm sorry
effort.
if you can't get above 50 views, then you just got to go.
Our producer is telling us this is our last show, so no, I'm just kidding. We can do it as long as we want.
I hope there was one person that panicked just for a second. Oh no! If they don't get picked up for another season.
That one guy in Romania, that fucking Count Chocolate motherfucker. Oh no!
What will I do on a Saturday morning?
There are no other podcasts anywhere.
There are too many.
Yeah.
I don't have time to find another one.
I find one good one finally, and they leave. Oh no.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, how's your week? How's your life? How's your weekend? Did you do anything today? Interesting. You worked and then hung out?
Yeah, that's about it. Worked and wrote. Did some grocery shopping, which is everybody's favorite thing to do every week, I think.
Yeah,
Go to the
actually.
store and... Oh, really? Oh, I hate it. I feel like every single time I go, it's the... Well, you typically go like kind of later in the night after work, so it's pretty mellow, I imagine. But
I go at like 10 and there's no one there, and it's wonderful.
We always end up going like on a Saturday because we both have the day off, my wife and I, and then it's just mayhem in there, like on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah, bumping into people, and people just like they're got their cart and they go forward and then they just stop.
Yeah,
they're like treated
nobody
like a
has
traffic jam.
any like self-awareness like in their like vicinity at all. It's fucking horrifying. And everybody's grumpy because nobody like really wants to. Like nobody's there to buy fun stuff. You're buying things that you need just to fucking live.
Just to survive. Just to deal with your sugar cravings and your fat ass all the time.
So nobody's like excited to be there at all.
Yeah, go late at night. It's not bad. I go and people are chill. Nobody's in the way. And there's barely anybody there.
And we've gone later in the evening. I try to get there. I try to do earlier in the morning before people kind of get there, but it just doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah.
So we went on a Sunday afternoon at about 3:30 in the afternoon, which is prime time at the grocery store. Apparently,
people just get off work. Their kids are getting off school, and kids are probably
school on Sundays, but typically.
Right, but I mean, people
Sunday
create
school.
Regular schedules, even if their kids aren't off or whatever. I'm right. Shut up.
Just shut your mouth.
Just shut up. I don't care.
Keep going with it.
Yeah, there's no school, and then there's no school tomorrow, President's Day. What is that? A day to celebrate all the
poor decisions we've made throughout history.
Oh, yeah. A day to reflect on our voting patterns.
Yes, I guess.
And these venerable men in power. I don't know.
They're so amazing.
There's been a lot of them. There's one every time I look. There's just a guy there sitting in that throne.
There might be a lady next time. Who knows? 2016 is rolling right in.
I think Hillary Clinton is trying to do it.
Probably.
Maybe Palin. I don't know. I don't know anything that's going on with politics.
I know. You don't care.
Well, I don't care about the details, really. I care that it exists. I just don't, you can follow it all you want. There's not much going on.
It's true.
That you can.
They're just
you can
lying to
complain
you.
about.
That's all that's going on. They're just telling you what you want to hear.
They don't tell me what I want to hear. I don't want to know what I want to hear. they'd ruin their constituency immediately saying what I want to hear from them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it'd be gross.
Would he?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
real vile, just nasty.
You wouldn't like it.
I'm starting to get a little shaky about this friendship we've got going on here. If your moral views can't even be upheld in a political office.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to get. No, it's not my moral views. I'm just talking about like things I want for free.
Just free gas for everyone.
Yeah.
It's bad enough I got to pay for my car insurance or my upkeep of my vehicle.
Yeah, I don't want to have to pay for anything.
It's true, and nobody does.
Nope.
That's why welfare exists.
That's why, yeah, all these free programs.
If you wanna-
There's always some cost somewhere.
If you want to hear about welfare, just listen to last week's episode where we have a glowing review of what how we feel about welfare.
The tax system and
yeah,
its
taxes are
uses.
amazing. They're so great. I love them.
Yep.
Anyway, let's roll right into this. What's word of the week for you that you came up with on the spot just now?
The word of the week is analgesic. And it is essentially a class of drugs that are designed to be pain relievers. So you have like ibuprofen and Tylenol, those are analgesics. You can call it analgesic.
I was thinking if they would be, not placebos, but enemas. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they achieve analgesia. It's hard not to say anal, but it is analgesia.
That almost sounds like when your anus has reached like a state of nirvana via drugs. Yeah,
analgesia. I finally reached analgesia.
I feel so much better.
It's like euphoria or Shangri-La. Yeah, it's a medical term. Analgesic.
So it's just pain relievers, basically.
Mm-hmm. Pain relievers, but it's a cool word.
Now I want to go to like a Target or a Walmart pharmacy and be like, hey, where are your analgesics at?
Ma'am, can I get analgesics? Analgesus.
Please.
Analgesus. That's a new porn name.
Is it?
Analgesus. I mean, it's or the name of a porn.
You could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. Well, it's probably already been done. To be honest,
Everything's been done.
Just Google it.
As far as
Google
porn
anal
goes.
Jesus. See what happens.
Jesus anal. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Analgesics. That's what.
Oh yeah. Analgesics.
Analgesics. So next time you are in the pharmacy and you need some Tylenol, just ask the pharmacist for some analgesics, and they will probably not know what you're talking about because they probably
No, the pharmacist will know. That's their job.
No, I know, but maybe they just took a quick program. They fucking failed at everything else in life, so they just skated by
I'm
on
pretty
the
sure
2-year program.
Pharmacy techs, that's like a pretty high level medical job. I thought.
It probably is. I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure
I think it's just like a 2-year
deep
program in a
program.
community college, though, depending.
Yeah, but maybe still. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit about 2-year college degrees. They're totally viable.
Are they?
I don't fucking know. I got a
fucking bachelor's, so fuck it.
I went above and beyond the Call of Duty booty.
For analgesics. Anyway, my word for the week.
What is your word?
My word is tenebrific. Tenebrific.
Tenebrific.
Tenebrific.
Can you spell that for me?
Tenebrific.
Wow.
Tenebrific.
Can I guess?
Oh, yes, I was going to ask that actually.
Tenebrific. It is when you count to 10 and it is so terrific that you have to put the two words together.
How did you know? It is literally the celebratory. What does it say here? The act of celebrating the ability to count to 10.
Is it really?
No. I think
Oh,
it's producing darkness.
you fucking dick. You fucking dick. I thought that guy got it. You're all reading it. You liar. What is it really? What is it?
Producing darkness.
Producing darkness.
Producing darkness. It's an adjective.
That sounds fun. Tenebrific.
They shine like suns, these two, amid multitudes of watery comets and tenebrific constellations. That's an example of sentence.
Whoa.
I know, right? That's a
Causing
beautiful
darkness. So it's like the Batman movie, Darkness
Yes.
Rises.
Tenebrific
whatever.
rises.
Yeah, Tenebrific. Welcome to the Tenebrific. I am Tenebrific this
You have
evening.
my permission to become Tenebrific now.
Take control of your city. That is a terrible impersonation of Bane.
Yeah, I can't do one either.
You have to just put your hand in front of your mouth and go,
Yeah, you can do.
I don't know about that. And just, that's about it.
Without a mask, I think you do it properly. He had a mask on the whole time, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think that's what led to his particular tonal range.
But while on the subject of movies, we went and saw Kingsman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking sweet.
It was very entertaining, very surprising, action-packed.
I believe you called it a 13-year-old's wet dream.
That's what I said. I even
That's like
tweeted
the
it.
headline of your review.
Mhm.
If you were writing one for
Yes.
like a magazine.
Yes, it would be a 13-year-old's wet dream. It has everything that a 13-year-old boy would enjoy and giggle at.
Yes.
It's got humor, explosions, sex. It's got gadgets out the ass, like
It's true.
fucking amazing gadgets, explosions. I already said that. But like
There were enough
decapitation
explosions.
explosions.
Twice.
Yeah, it was really very entertaining.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot. I mean, I went in with decent expectations just because critic reviews and things that I'd heard from other people that had seen it were all, like, they all talked
Mhm.
highly of it. So I went in assuming that it was going to be a pretty good ride. And it was awesome. It was actually
Mhm.
better than I thought it was going to be. I went in thinking it was going to be more of a,
Like a kids movie.
like kind of like a tamed down, lighthearted spy flick, and it was a lot like more mature and dark than I thought. Like it's very funny. Like they portray everything in a kind
Mhm.
of comedic light, but at the same time, the things that are happening are like really fucked up.
Yeah,
so.
and it ramps up
Mhm.
by the end, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, this is fucking not the kind of movie I expected.
I was like
at all.
laughing at it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is really messed up, but
Yeah.
it's funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it was
Well,
kind
it's
of a
so over
weird,
the top.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is going on? I mean, the bad guy's over the top, but fun. And you know, the main character. You know, it's got a lot of surprises. It's very good.
Yeah, it was one of those movies where I liked every character too. There wasn't
Yeah.
like a character that annoyed me at any point.
Right.
They were all just really well done. They were all very unique.
Yeah.
Um,
No one. It wasn't too campy or too like serious, where they're like saying things that don't make sense in the situation.
Mhm.
They kind of all react to the situations
Yeah.
naturally, and all the actors are very natural. So it's kind of it's just easy to watch and to figure out what's going on.
I like the dinner scene between Colin
Mhm.
Firth and Sam Jackson because they were kind of they were almost breaking the fourth wall just a little bit because they were talking about their favorite spy movies
Mhm.
and they're kind of looking at the camera like
Mhm.
looking at you, just kind of being like,
Yeah.
like, this is a spy movie, you get it. And
Yeah.
then it was just it was a really cool. It was a funny scene because of their exchange, and then the fact that they're eating for dinner.
Right.
For the sake of spoilers, I won't say what it was, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And then, but just like their whole exchange, and then talking about their favorite spy movies when you're just watching a spy movie, and
Right.
then they kind of took those tropes and kind of spun them around a little bit. Like they fell into some of the tropes, obviously, because it's hard to tell the story without doing that to some
Mhm.
extent. But they kind of twisted a lot of them on their head. It was
Mhm.
kind of surprising. Like
Yeah.
that death halfway through the movie blew my mind and was actually upsetting because he was
Yeah.
probably like almost my favorite character in that whole movie.
Yeah.
And I was really let down when they kind of extinguished his presence. Well, I was a little over halfway through, I guess.
Yeah, it was like
About
3/4 the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
2/3, 3/4, whatever. It was a ways into
point
the
two,
film. Yes.
Yeah, but it's good. I thought it was perfect because at that point, he's explaining how this isn't a movie,
Mhm.
which I love in movies
Yeah.
or TV shows where because they if they're in modern times, not referencing modern things is just ignoring it for the sake of being, because they're trying to not show that they're in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, so they're trying to like, oh, this is separate from. Because this real life, you know, that they're
Mhm.
trying to portray. But by bringing up movies, you make it more real because in real life we talk about movies and pop culture all the time, and you relate your life to those kind of things and to
Yeah.
other people. So I thought that was great because he's like, this isn't that kind of movie, and then they surprise you, and it doesn't feel like that kind of movie at that point.
Because he's like talking about how, this is the part where I will explain my whole master plan, which then gives you enough time to figure out some miraculous escape, and then that just doesn't happen at all, and the scene ends pretty abruptly after that. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I don't like movies that are super predictable or super stereotypical or whatever. That's why I like the movie, because the whole time you're kind of like, you think you're going to be able to guess what's going to happen or whatever, and you're just kind of in it for the ride instead of trying to predict everything and then just kind of not being surprised or whatever. Plus all the acting was really good. The cinematography, the action sequences were top notch as far as and
they were really fast paced, but like focused enough to where you didn't get confused about what was going on. Like the camera work was really well done. It was kind of like kind of Matrixy, like a lot of bullet time type stuff going on. Like that whole church scene was awesome. Very fast paced, crazy, just 5-10 minutes of non-stop violence. It's
chaotic, but they focus in and slow down at the important moment of the action.
It almost seemed like it would like slow down at this key point and then kind of fast forward a little bit to like make up for the fact that it just slowed down. Because the characters definitely move at like an unnatural speed at certain points. And they definitely do impossible, physically impossible like acrobatics and stuff. But it's all really cool. I was impressed. It's been a while since I've seen probably since like the Raid 2. I was like probably the last movie I saw that the choreography was just mind blowing.
The choreography in this was, I mean, it was so fast paced. I couldn't even imagine, how to write that into or figure that out. In practicality.
I wonder how long it took him to throw some of those scenes together. Because I know, like in the Raid 2, that prison sequence, where all those guys are fighting
in the mud.
It took him like I think it was like a month or two to put that together.
I can't imagine.
Get it all choreographed correctly. Like that's a lot.
Well, especially in the church, because in the church scene, they're destroying everything. So you'd have to reset every time, and then go through the sequence. They probably did it real slow. And that's why it looks like it's sped up and stuff like that. Some of it is probably slowed down in real life, and then they would speed it up with the camera or something. But it's very surprising, very, very brutal as far as like murders. Like you almost like a half of the way in or a quarter of the way in, there's no cussing, no blood, no gore, and then all of a sudden someone gets shot in the head. And they show it, and you're like, "Oh, this is a rated R movie." I didn't know it was rating. I honestly didn't think about its rating beforehand.
I don't even really think about ratings that much anymore. I just want to watch it because it looks interesting.
Well, I kind of don't like to see PG-13 movies because I assume they're going to cut things out. Like they're not going to show certain things, and it's going to make it look less realistic or something. But it just limits their ability to be creative because they have to follow those rules. So I like rated R movies most of the time better. But I didn't know it was rated R, and then and then it just ramps up from there, and you're like, okay, they can just get away with anything in this movie for the most part. But really fun, definitely. One of the better movies I've seen in a while.
I would recommend watching it.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge spy movie fan. I've never growing up, I was never a huge fan. I didn't even like James Bond that much until some of the more recent Daniel Craig ones. But this is probably, in my opinion, it was my favorite spy movie I've ever seen. Like, it had all the quintessential kind of spy movie gadgets and the crazy villain who wants to destroy the world type scenario. But it's just like peppered with comedic characters and interesting choreography and stuff like that. And so it was all really good.
Really well done. Definitely straddles the line between action and espionage, because most espionage movies are fairly slow paced and a lot of dialogue and a lot of talking and a lot of like setups and female interests and all this stuff. And this one's pretty much just an action movie about spies and this particular spy group.
Speaking of female interests, I like that they didn't. I was expecting them to take that female agent and make her like a love interest for the main kid, but I'm glad that they didn't. They just kind of had like this
like camaraderie.
They were just like friends and partners, and I was glad because I was like, oh, here we go. There's the love interest, like because she was kind of defending him right away, like when everybody else was giving him shit, and so I thought that's what the route they were going to go with, and I'm glad that they didn't. It was nice to like not have, cause sometimes it'll take away from a movie because they, they'll set aside time to set up this romance that's not necessary for the story at all. So I'm glad that they didn't waste any time with that. They were just like, oh no, they're friends. They're like training together and they have each other's back, and that's all there is to it. So.
Right. Yeah. I think love interests. I mean, you either have to focus on it and make it a big deal, and then it becomes a different kind of movie, or you add a little bit in there and it just becomes like a distraction from whatever's going on, because love interests in movies tend to kind of take over the narrative, and they give such a high motivation for any actions that then you have to figure that out. You have to be like, oh, is it? But what about her? But what about him? But what? If they don't add that in, then you can just be like, oh, this is just he just wants to save the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very streamlined as far as the whole movie goes. Very well paced. Yeah. I also liked that the main bad guy, his main source of taking over the world or whatever, being destructive, was to give away 1 billion free SIM cards.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he makes this announcement: everyone can have free talking, free text, free communications with their cell phone. They just have to pick up his SIM card for free, and it's free forever. Like, so he put no limitations on it at all. All you got to do is use his SIM card and it'll work in any phone. And then everyone just goes crazy. They're just like, oh my god! Like, they didn't think for 1 second that there would be a catch at all. Like, has anyone ever given away anything for free to everyone?
Forever?
Forever, without there being like a massive like cost to whatever, like freedom, or like you end up owing them, or what I mean. Like, there's no free anything really, especially not a physical item or something like that. Could be free love, I guess, but then you end up with STDs and shit. But
I guess it wasn't technically free because they had to have that shit implanted in their neck, and
no, that was different. People
like leave a scar.
The SIM cards. No. The SIM cards were going to everyone who we wanted to affect. Oh. And then the thing inside of their heads, the implant, negated the SIM card deal. Oh, so they could have the SIM cards, but they wouldn't get hurt by the frequency.
I missed that somehow. Like, I knew that they had, like, a lot of the characters had those implants.
It was all the characters he was trying to save. And that's how he ended up blowing all their heads up at the end, is because the ones that he was trying to save had the implants, and he could hack into them and blow them up. But that wasn't the rest of the rest of the world. Had the regular cards with the SIM cards, or the phones with the SIM cards, and those were going to make everyone, fight each other. We're already spoiling the shit out of this, so I don't think it really matters at this point. But so don't listen to this before I said this. Stop. Before I said this.
Hopefully they fast forwarded through and then.
Nah, fuck them. They can fucking.
Well, this will post like
that's the thing about spoilers.
A week after.
Spoilers don't really spoil anything unless there's like a major twist at the end. Like, the whole point is you're watching an entertaining, visual thing. The fun part is the watching and the visual and the excitement from watching actors. It's not the fucking knowledge of like the events.
Yeah, I think that the only time a spoiler sucks is if you're watching like a mystery film and somebody's like, "Oh, it's this guy," and then you're like, like that's part of the fun. Is like trying to piece together the clues yourself while you're watching it and figure it out. But yeah, like an action movie, if somebody's like, "Oh, the bad guy dies at the end," it's like, well, I figured.
Yeah, but how does it happen? Yeah. What happens? You have to watch it for yourself anyway. So I just. Spoilers. People just get so butthurt about everything.
Yeah, I don't even care. Like, if somebody like wants to come in and talk about something that I haven't seen or played or whatever, I'm just like, oh yeah, feel free.
If it's Game of Thrones, I don't want to hear about it because I want everything to be fresh with that show. But there's so many surprises. In that. It's very surprising, but I don't know. I guess it just, if it affects me negatively, I don't like it. Otherwise,
Game of Thrones is your spoiler kryptonite.
I just really love to watch that show fresh. So.
Show comes back here pretty soon. It's in April or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, it's gonna start up. I'm watching Vikings though, and that is stolen my attention. It's a really good show.
I've heard it is pretty good. I just I never have time to watch TV.
Yeah.
Typically, like if I'm not working or like writing, I'm usually like my very limited spare time. I'm trying to keep up with games or whatever that I'm trying to play through.
Yeah, I think you're playing more games than I am, and I'm probably watching more TV than you are. Probably. Yeah. I haven't been playing anything lately. Dying Light, I just don't really play it anymore in the last week, and I don't really care. I don't really give a
I mean, like on a normal work day, I only end up with like a couple of hours at most of like spare time. So I just don't have a lot of time to watch stuff.
That's good. Busy doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Trying to make the world a not better place. I'm just
for yourself,
stagnant.
maybe.
Man, maybe
Better place for yourself. But everyone else can fucking deal with it. Deal with their own lives. I've been listening to a lot of stuff about the stupid 50 Shades.
50 Shades of Grey.
Gray matter. Fucking, I don't know. I think that's just going to be a fad and that goes away pretty quick.
It will be. It's going to be like Twilight where it's huge while the movies are going. And then once the movies are over, it's like still going to be there. The fan base exists. But it's not. You're not going to hear about it that much and nobody's really going to care.
Yeah.
Because they already have the next 2 movies. Because there's like 3 books, I think, in that series.
Oh,
I think
really?
that they already have the next 2 movies like in production.
Do all 3 books have the same 2 characters?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that is annoying as shit. Oh my god. You just had to listen fucking hours and hours of this horrible relationship with these horrible young fucking stupid people. Oh man, I can't even believe it.
Those books actually started as Twilight.
Yeah, fan fiction. Yeah,
funny.
Well, it makes sense because he's such a like a horrifying character, and he's so young.
Yeah.
That it makes sense that he would be a vampire style character. That just he's
that
evil. But to make it just
around,
a normal person who's evil, they had to explain it away with his past, like he's been abused as a child, and so that's how they explain it or whatever.
Is that how I don't know that.
I just listened to a review. I haven't actually read any of it or watched any of it or anything.
The only thing that I've heard is I listened to Gilbert Godfrey read segments of it.
Yeah, I've heard that. I never watched
College Humor, which was hilarious.
Godfrey's hilarious. He's great. I couldn't even do an impression of him. He's so weird.
And I saw this thing on, I think it was 9gag, where they just had like a blurb of how, of the book, and like how many times they use a particular phrase or statement.
Yeah.
And her writing is so terrible that she just reuses the same like phrases and adjectives to keep describing things.
Oh, really?
And it's just because she has no fucking understanding of the craft. It hurts. It hurts me as a writer to know that people enjoy that kind of crap, and that she can get away with selling fucking millions of copies of trash, essentially, when there's millions of people out there writing things that are way better. I know.
I know. Isn't that sad?
I'll sell out eventually. I'll just write a romance novel of some kind.
Write a list of the 10, most popular shitty behaviors and shitty things in life that people are, vices, like, drugs and sex, and just write just a ridiculous book that seems somewhat realistic about it.
I just gotta do like 1 or 2 of them just to get my start. Like once I can get my foot in the door, then I'll just go back to writing whatever.
And then they'll be like, wow, he wrote this one book and it was super popular, and then he's got all these other books and nobody cares about it. But they're
I made enough money off that one book to live, so it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, whatever, man.
I don't think I could. I don't think that I could literally sit down and write a book that I didn't care about. Like if I sat down to just write something like, I just need to write something to sell, I don't think I'd be able to do it. I might be able to like start and get 10 or 20,000 words in, and then I just wouldn't.
Be too restrictive.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd just be like, I don't want to write this. This is fucking horrifying.
This is stupid.
Speaking of writing, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
With my latest novel. I'll probably be done before. Actually, I have vacation next week, and one of my goals for vacation is to finish it. I'm about 10 to 15,000 words away from being done. And it's like the exciting part of the story where all the events have culminated and all the shit's going down essentially. So
oh my god, I'm so excited.
Very exciting to write.
Yeah. You're 50,000 words so far?
Yeah, I just got to 51,000 today. But it'll probably be 60 to 65,000 when I'm done.
That's a lot of words.
Yes. It's like 350 pages print, roughly.
Wow. So that's fucking crazy. Good job. Right on.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Are you excited to start another one after that?
I'm probably not gonna. I will probably start notes for my next novel. I already have like a rough idea what I want to write. So I'll probably work on notes while I'm editing. Is it about
like a 5'6", 30-year-old who's like super rich and famous and handsome,
but he's like lonely.
And then he has a secret room.
And then he kidnaps this girl.
He plays PS4
because he's got to get the girl to fall in love with him because he's got this magic rose in his chamber, and the petals are like slowly falling off.
Oh my god, time limits.
Yeah, and so if he doesn't get her to fall in love before the rose petals all deteriorate off of the stem, then he loses all of his money. He loses all his fucking money
to a shitty law.
Yes.
And then that's awesome, dude. That sounds very original.
It's my X-rated Beauty and the Beast.
I'd like to play. Yeah, you should do an X-rated Beauty and the Beast. It'll be called Beauty and the Bestiality.
Beauty and the Bestiality.
Or,
I was saying you almost don't even need to change the title. It could just be called Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Anal Rape.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That got dark real
Yeah,
fast.
I don't know about
no,
that. There's a porn out there called Grand Theft Anal. Just wanted to put that out there. How I know that, don't worry about it.
How my knowledge of this came to be, let's just let that
You don't need to
be bad guys.
Don't ask, don't tell. Speaking of Valentine's Day, which we weren't, did you have a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it was
Did
nice.
You enjoy it? Yeah.
My wife and I just put the day together.
Did you hang out with this one?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. Right on. Good. Right on. I'm going to talk about myself now. So
okay.
Thank you. Whatever.
On Valentine's Day.
Whatever. No. I just. I don't know. It was. It's a weird day for being single, and for being like out and about. You know, seeing everybody coming in and shopping, and it's a weird day where I think a lot of people act like the relationship is awesome, and it might not be. So I want to be cynical about the whole endeavor. I want to just be like all these fucking pretentious lovebirds, and they're holding hands and shit. But it's just because I'm, somewhat jealous and what is it called? Spiteful or whatever. But really, I think it's. I guess that out of all the holidays, it's pretty nice to celebrate, you know, your relationship or
you should
love or whatever.
Celebrate your every day that you're in a relationship. I feel like, and not for granted, but
that's one of the things I think that sucks about any holiday is you're kind of focusing on one day. And what I think that what it does is it puts a lot of pressure on couples to evaluate the relationship because it's that day where you're supposed to like spend that much time on your relationship. But then in the evaluation of your relationship, then you're like, oh shit, we've had all these problems or something. I can see it being a very stressful day for both people in and out of relationships. So it's just a little awkward to be single. I think I was like, I've just been kind of like, I don't know, it makes you feel bad. It's like, because it makes it seem like the default is that you're supposed to have a relationship. You're supposed to be in a relationship.
It's like if you're not in a relationship on this day, then you're like the loser.
Like something's wrong
to sit at home
or
by
something.
yourself.
Yeah, it's weird. But I had a pretty decent day. I got to go shopping for food finally. I was off, or I was out of town and didn't have time, and I just got paid, and I was like excited to like go buy a bunch of food and like go home and prep. My next food. It was like a normal day at home.
It was just food prep day for you,
was,
while everyone else was stuffing their face with chocolates.
Yeah, everyone's like enjoying love and affection, and I'm like at home doing kettlebell workouts and like sweating my balls off. Like I'm stronger than I'm stronger
alone than I am in a relationship.
Yeah. Oh, it was. I don't know. It wasn't that like self-loathing or anything. But
I don't even think about it that much. Like I kind of forgot Valentine's Day was even coming up, but everybody kind of starts talking about it a lot, and there's a bunch of shit online about it. As it's coming up,
flowers and. There's a lot of money involved too that I think is kind of
like the only effort I really put into it is I just got up before my wife did, and then I just ran to the store, got some roses, chocolates, and donuts, and then just came back and was like, and then we just hung out for the whole day and just we played some games together and watched some movies and just kind of spent the day together, and then it was over. So
that's very.
It wasn't really much out of the ordinary from how we just normally spend our days, but
other than the early morning,
like the junk food rush in the morning, that was about it. And then we ordered like a pizza for dinner.
Diabetic,
for my diabetic. My wife's diabetic.
And you got her donuts, chocolate, and she ate the flowers.
Yes, one Valentine's Day she's just gonna die, and it's like my secret plan. Just to kill her with sweets.
With sweets, but that wouldn't really be you killing her. She'd have to do it on purpose.
Oh, she's flipping me off. That's
nice. That's because you just said you wanted to kill her. Makes sense. But,
I was even thinking about it as I was coming up to the checkout stand with this armful of sugar stuff. Just like, what am I doing? I should be getting her like apples and then like beef jerky because it's no carbs and it's a free food, so she can just eat that to her heart's content.
It's all protein and
then
a little bit of sugars.
Or I'll just buy her a bottle of insulin with the sugar next year. Just like, here you go, overload, and then just take some of this, you'll be alright.
Yeah.
You can do all you want.
And like have a platter with the insulin syringe on it with the donut or whatever.
Just like sticking in the donut.
Yeah.
It's just the syringe is sticking out.
Or a little flour on
Like
it.
candles, but they poke your skin.
Yeah.
Give you much needed medicines.
It's like really appropriate sadism to like help somebody with their needle with diabetes.
I remember when we were first moving into an apartment in town, I felt it necessary to tell the landlord that she was diabetic. Because I was like worried that, I was like, what if somebody walked by our window and then saw her shooting up with a needle?
Oh, yeah.
And then like went and told the landlord, thinking that we were like doing drugs or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, just so you know, she's diabetic and she uses hypodermic needles to
You're like,
insulin.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just
You know, if we got needles, it's no big deal. Don't worry about the needles. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're just, it's diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but you don't have diabetes, so why are you using all the needles?
I just like the way it feels in my skin.
I need it. I fucking need it. I need it now. Yeah, that could be a little awkward, and it'd be very inconvenient to have the police come by and then be like, "Oh, you have a prescription for this."
Oh, it's just insulin. All right.
Oh,
Well, it's
right.
insulin. Yeah.
Don't they make insulin out of like bugs that like produce it, like little creatures that like spit out insulin into like a thing and then they collect it?
What? Where are you
Like
getting this
synthetically, that's how they make insulin.
from? Oh,
isn't
well,
it?
yeah, I mean, because they used to come from pigs.
Right.
Yeah.
But they
Still does.
they
Oh, still
genetically
does.
engineered something, right? But that's still a thing. Maybe no. No.
Still comes from pigs.
Yeah.
Still comes from pigs.
Okay.
From
They're
the
more
horse's
synthetic
mouth.
now, but
Yeah.
All right.
Huh.
I knew it came from pigs at least originally, and I'm sure that they do. They have probably other means of creating it, but maybe they still need pigs to some capacity. Because I know
Well,
in
it seems
Canada
reasonable.
they were using pig pancreases as transplants to cure people with diabetes. Because if you can replace the pancreas that works, then
Yeah, because that's where
it's done.
insulin's
Yeah, it's
produced. So then you're just fixing the whole.
yeah, because if you're because there are two types. If you're type 1 diabetic, it just
Right.
means your pancreas doesn't work at all,
Right.
and that usually is on set at a young age, or you're just
Right.
born with it. Like my wife,
Yeah.
when
Pancreas
they
is
discovered it, and
like
they
this.
discovered in like the horrifying fashion of her. Like almost going into a comatose state, and
Right.
then they had to rush her to the hospital, and then hey, she's got diabetes, surprise! And then you have type 2 diabetes, which is like fat old lady diabetes.
Oh, lady. Oh my god. Or just any fat person.
Yeah, just any fat person
Not
that
to be
didn't take
old
care
at
of
all,
themselves.
but, yeah.
And type 2, actually, you can control it with diet. And it actually can be cured. Like, if you are dieting and exercising and you, like, lose weight, you can actually get out of it.
Is it that the pancreas is negatively affected by overeating? I don't, because it would still have to affect the pancreas. Or is it more of like the pancreas is producing the insulin, but it's not getting to the right pathways or something like that?
I don't know the
intricacies.
intricacies of, like, why. But,
Yeah. I know that when type 2, you have a lot of potential to lose a limb, and then it has to do with like circulation or something.
Yeah,
like
what's
that. So I think it's
diabetes
more,
in general?
Is it,
like,
is
yeah,
it-
because
I don't understand
she has to,
the
like,
connection.
Vanessa has to be careful if she gets, like, a scrape on her foot or something. Like, you have to really stay on top of it because the circulation's so poor that it's easily infected and it takes a long time to heal.
because
and
the
stuff.
blood doesn't circulate through it very well. That's interesting. Is that due to low blood pressure
Yeah, like she has low
nerve
blood pressure.
damage.
and
And
nerve
nerve
Just
damage.
nerve damage.
Oh, just nerve damage. Huh.
We should just give her.
That
a
would
mic
make
so she can
sense
talk
why.
diabetes.
Well, we could. That would make sense why you have to amputate, because if there's enough nerve damage based on the probably a lack
Yep.
of insulin to those areas or something.
She got a floor burn one time. Just basic, like her skin was just like that red.
Yeah.
I think that she was playing volleyball or something,
Mhm.
and it actually got infected, and she had to like go to the doctor and get
Oh, yeah, that's
antibiotics
scary.
just from a floor burn. Like
Yeah.
it just like started as red skin, and then just kind of started to scab
Yeah.
and swell, and then before she knew it, it was
Is-
just like getting out of
Is
control.
insulin a hereditary issue? Because it seems like it wouldn't be.
Well,
Because
diabetes is typically. Like,
obviously, I meant diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is hereditary.
Yeah.
Because you would think that prior to the modern medical age, anyone with insulin would just die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have made it.
No,
I
they
guess-
did die. Like if you were diabetic.
I know, but if they couldn't have died out, because we wouldn't have anyone with insulin.
Yeah, we started saving them with medicine. How
So
do
it
we just
must-
let them die?
But I'm wondering that's an interesting point in history, where I'm sure some people probably had recessive genes, so it still exists in their hereditary, but then when they met their partner, it was reflected in the offspring. There's probably people who have the carrier gene but not actually have diabetes.
Yeah,
So
it's in her family.
explains
There's like
why.
nobody with diabetes. It's really weird.
That is
Like
weird.
nobody that she knows of, anyway.
It's like a mutant power.
Yeah,
But
but it's like a really
like a
shitty
worse
one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of really funny, like, shitty mutant powers that you can come up with.
And it's kind of funny too because type 2 is so rampant that like when she goes to the doctor, she has to get her blood drawn before making doctor's appointments and stuff. And last time she went, the lady was surprised to find out that she was there for a diabetic test because she's like this young, small, petite girl.
Oh, she couldn't imagine.
Typically,
the type one.
they think that they deal with type 2, so they just assume that you would be overweight. And so she didn't she ask you if you were like chubby as a child? Yeah, that's right.
She automatically assumed I had type 2.
What a jerk.
So
That's silly.
she was she had diabetes before the fat people made it cool.
Yeah.
basically.
Cool. Yeah, I think they made it cool, yeah. Obesity is pretty awesome, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Now that I'm more aware of health in general, I look at fat people and I'm, there's so many of them. And it's
There's
just,
this.
I don't know.
there's a
I
lot.
just feel like there's just like, I don't know if my disgust is personal or if it's based in any reality, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel bad all around for all of it. Like that our society is like that and that people don't care about themselves and that they have kids who, have to live with, these gross fat people.
I think that my level of
Really
disgust
sad.
comes at the point when that person's just going to be on disability because they're such a
that's
fat
fine.
person, and then I have to pay for that essentially.
Yeah.
Taxes just go into that service so that people can
Yeah, I guess
be fat and
I
disabled.
don't think that's a disability.
It is though. I think it's
Yeah.
like once you're, I think it's like over 300 pounds
Yeah.
or something. I mean,
Yeah.
you can file for disability because you're considered obese,
But that's like me chopping my own leg off and then saying I'm disabled.
but you probably could do that.
I know.
You
I
could
probably.
do
I'd be mentally
Yeah.
fucked up. But isn't it somewhat of a mental disorder to be destructive to yourself?
Yeah, it should.
So
be.
it's more of a mental disability than. And maybe there's some other issues, and it's not like we can just give them drugs and fix people. But I think it's a whole cultural and psychological issue as opposed to just they have a fucking. It's not a medical issue.
No.
It's a self-induced medical issue.
I made poor decisions, and now I get
and I hate
rewarded
myself
for
or
it.
whatever. And I'm sure there are lots of cases where it's a.
It was like thyroid problem.
There
There are reasons.
I don't
why
know the
people-
percentage. Is it
I
like
don't think
10%? But it can't be everyone. It just
Yeah.
all of a sudden has thyroid fucking problems in America, just when they didn't 50
No,
years
they
ago.
don't. I think it's
So-
just that fast food is so easily accessible and cheap, and so a lot of people just turn to that because it's easier. And then you have technologies kind of made people lazier. You don't
Sedentary
have to-
lifestyles
Yeah, you just
are
a lot of people just sit around.
endorsed, yeah.
And so it's very easy to
Yeah.
just put on weight, and then you don't care. You don't need. It's not like you're a farmer where you got to be in shape
Yeah.
to tend your fields. It's your job is to sit at a desk and answer phones, and then you just go home. Like you don't need
Yeah.
to be in shape for any.
And
of
that's
that.
why that's probably one of the reasons why the health system or the medical, pharmacy and everything, all that stuff is fucked up because we have so many unhealthy people who haven't prevented anything, and they're just going to the doctor at 20 for all these fucking horrible heart conditions and shit, and all sorts of issues, or 30, 40 years old. So I don't know. I guess it's an incentive for me to just
Yeah, it's,
not
I mean,
end up like that.
I have been diligently trying to take care of myself over the few years. But then my dad had a heart attack earlier this year,
Yeah.
and he's 46.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Jesus, that will be me unless I make different decisions than he did. And
Yeah.
he was never a person that ate well and exercised. So I run 2 miles twice a day, and then eat
How do
better,
you
so.
do that? Because I went for a jog,
Mhm.
a leisurely jog, and I couldn't make it. Maybe a half a mile. I made it before I had to slow down, take a walk. But then again, I haven't been doing it at all.
I think that it's just
I have to
I mean,
build up to it.
I ran a ton in high school. I would run like
Yeah.
6 miles a day in high school, and I was like 170 pounds and
Yeah.
like I was dying. And then I gained a bunch of weight after high school because I wasn't running anymore and I was eating fast food and all this stuff was going on. And I got to like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And then once I started running again, I like started dropping down, and it's fucking hard. Like I mean, once you get to that point where you can do it, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But getting into running
That's tough.
It's fucking rough. And so, I mean, I've just been running. I was just running 2 miles a day for the last couple of years until about a month ago, and then because I had become kind of plateaued as far as like weight loss and stuff, and I was like, I could just run one more time a day, and then and that's been working. I've dropped like 5 or 6 pounds over the last month just from running twice as often, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just get up in the morning and run 2 miles, and then I have my German Shepherd, so it's good for her too to run 4 miles a day.
For sure.
It's great. But I think that if you just kept with it, you would just get better and better. I mean, it's one of those things you got to push yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas like you do those kettlebell workouts, and I think that if I tried to like do a kettlebell workout with you, it'd probably destroy me because I'm not used to doing that kind of workout. And then if you went running with me, you would just be like falling way behind.
I went jogging and it was really nice. It's a very nice. I don't like running because to me that's like running fast and getting winded. But to jog it's very pleasant, and I go next to the river and it's very nice. But and I have built up even just in the 2 times I've done it. I could run farther the second time. But I was thinking like we could go on a jog together. But I was like, no, I would be fucked. You would just keep going. I would stop and need to breathe and take a walk. Eventually,
it would be fine. But I don't even. I do like a 10-minute. I run 10-minute miles. So it's not even like I'm not like full on running. It's just more of like a. I wouldn't say like it's like a slow jog. I'm just like jogging at like because I think 10-minute miles is like an average kind of just jogging pace. I would think
because I'm out for a good 20-30 minutes, so I'm probably traveling a good amount of distance. I just don't have a clue. So
I just figured that because I was using a pedometer because I never had used one, and then I was like, I'm curious like how far exactly I run because I was just running for like around 20 to 23. It was like 22 minutes. And so I just like fired up a pedometer and went on one of my normal runs, and it was like it was just almost exactly 2 miles, and it was like 10-minute mile pace, and so I could run like faster if I wanted. It's just my dog and I. We just like it's like this pace that we just set. Yeah, it's just and like when I started running like twice a day, the first few weeks was fucking horrible. Like. By the end of the week, my legs were so exhausted, and I started doing like a core work. Like the first 2 weeks, I was just in pain, like almost the whole time.
I bet, yeah.
And now it's the point where I don't even feel it at all. Like I can just do it. And I don't feel it at all. So
I like the endurance when you gain endurance, and like the kettlebell thing. You know, I started off with a pretty small weight, and now I've upped my weight, but I also do a lot more, and I can do it more often, and so it's nice to see the progression of it and get something more out of it, and not just feel like I'm hurting myself or whatever.
Yeah.
But
work through the pain, and then
a little bit, yeah.
But I think if you kept just jogging like a little. I mean, even you don't have to necessarily do it like every day, just like every other day or something. You would just get to this point where you.
I've been doing it on my days off, so because I've not been riding my bike because the weather's kind of. I don't know why. I just haven't been. The frickin' front tire's flat, so I got to get it fixed. And
I was always liked running. I hated running growing up, and then when I started doing it in high school a lot, I just liked it. I think it's because it's just you can run for 20 minutes, and it's like a good workout. Like lot of like riding a bike, you would have to ride a bike for like.
That's the thing too. I'd have to take an hour and a half of my time. I was going for 2-hour bike rides around the path, and you travel a long distance in that amount of time, and it's a great workout. It's a lot of fun, but. For quickness reasons, I've been trying to do the running and to do something different, somewhat strenuous.
Because that's running is quick and intensive. Yeah. Like, 20 minutes, you're sweating and you've burned 400 calories or whatever, and it's like you're good to go.
For sure.
I think it's just I just don't have a ton of time to. That's why I don't like weightlifting and stuff. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just I don't want to. If I just don't have that much time to kill.
Right.
Working out.
And it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
honestly.
it is super boring. Yeah, even when I'm doing like push-ups and crunches and stuff, I just get like at a certain point I'm just kind of bored. I'm just like I'm ready to go do something. Like, and so I've always just preferred running. It's really like the only thing I can do that I enjoy.
It's funny when I went running the first time. It was like one of the nicer days in a while. And I had on my, like my shorts and my running shoes and a sweater and my headphones. I don't know why I explained all that, but I'm trying to paint the picture.
I have a very. It's
so
I go.
I'm just jogging, just like and then I started jogging by other joggers, and every other jogger like gave me like a nod or a smile or a heads up or like a little wave.
Oh, dude, joggers!
It's like a
nice.
community.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I started smiling at myself, like thinking, oh, this.
I'm like a part of something.
Yeah,
now.
no, it was like, oh, these people are like acknowledging that I'm doing something hard that they've done, and we're all kind of like pushing ourselves individually, but we recognize the purpose of it in the other people doing it. So I thought that was really cool. It was weird to get attention. Like if I just go on a walk, people just sort of look at you and then look away. They don't give a shit about you. They just assume you're walking like for no reason. But when you're jogging, you're like you have a purpose. You have like a goal, and you're like, gonna be athletic or something, or I don't know. Maybe there's
there's
value in it.
quite a few people that I see running all the time, and then they get near me and my dog barks at them because she's like, "Who the fuck are you? Why are you running? Like, what's going on?" But no, it's cool. Like they do. I've never met somebody who's like a grumpy jogger. Usually because they're like happy because they're taking care of themselves. So.
Well, and jogging and exercise in general is a huge stress reliever. I need to. Yeah, I was stressed out all day.
Actually on Friday, when after dealing with everything that we dealt with that day, I was like excited to get almost like I need to go for a run. Like I just need to get out and just run,
sweat it out,
and it was. I felt so good after my run. Like it is a huge.
Clears your head really well. Like if you have a lot of. Even when I was younger, I would be very anxious and stressed out about certain things, and I would go on these like 4-hour walks at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I felt like I was just super just super anxious. And by the end of it, I felt a lot better, and it was definitely like a reprieve from the normal stuff that you do every day or whatever.
I just appreciate people too that just exercise, because I mean, sometimes when I'm driving to work, I've seen like really like big heavy people out there, but they're like in their sweats and they're like speed walking. And I know a lot of people. I mean, even myself, like when I was really big, you're like really self-conscious to like go out in public and do that exercise.
It's hard to start,
but at the same time, like for me personally, I appreciate that. I'm like, yeah, they're big, but they're fucking out here doing something. Like they're instead of they could just be sitting. At home
that and it's hard. It's
Yeah.
not easy to do, and so it took some willpower and some effort, and that's what I appreciate is the effort, because it's not that's the hardest part.
Because I've been around people who've like made like still see somebody running by like a bigger person and they like make fun of them. I'm like, don't make fun of them. They're out here like trying to change.
Yeah, you're only making fun because you're a pussy.
Yeah,
and fucking aren't willing to work hard to do something. Like even if you're like fit, and it doesn't take any work. If you're making fun of people who are doing hard work, it's because you don't want to do hard work.
I think that kind of attributes to a little bit to people being overweight too. Is they get to that point where they're overweight for whatever reason, and then they're like afraid to go to a gym or go outside
or seek
and like
help in general,
because they're like it's humiliating to go into a gym and you're really big and you're trying to like exercise with all these other people.
And people are
like
always looking
fit.
at you and stuff, and I'm sure it's not easy.
So if you see a fat person outside running or power walking, don't fucking make fun of them
because
they're trying to change their life.
I make fun of the ones that are at the mall sitting on their ass and eating a fucking shake. That's the one that I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, go get in line of Cinnabon, fucker.
You're walking around with food in your mouth in a non-food place. Like, this is not a food. You're not in a restaurant, but you're just walking around with food hanging out your mouth, and you're huge. It's just like, do you ever not eat?
Yeah.
It's okay to not eat sometimes. But I'm just a dick sometimes. I just like in my head, I'm just like, God damn it. What? I think it's just my own projection of like what I don't want to see. Myself. It's not really about them, I assume. Maybe it is. Maybe they suck.
They probably do. Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. But I can understand that. I try not to be too harsh on people that are big, but if they're like a fat, disgusting person and they smell and they're being a dick, then fuck them. They're fucking gross. Get out of here.
That is the trifecta of fuck you. You're fat, you smell, and you're being a dick. I have no room in my life.
Just go die. If you go die right now,
It's
the
okay.
world will like get a little brighter.
And a little
Because
lighter.
your fucking huge ass isn't darkening it with your fucking nasty shadow, you smelly bitch. That was like a whole lot of hate speech,
Yeah.
all
hella hate.
condensed into like a 15-second
Yeah.
sermon.
I don't hate people for how they're born. I hate for how they fucking act.
If you're gonna be like a fat guy, be really funny and nice. Like that.
Yeah.
That's you have to.
Well, yeah.
If you're just like fat and grumpy, at least if you're like a skinny, attractive woman who's a bitch, people can appreciate your physical attractiveness, even if they don't want to talk to you. But if you're like fat and a jerk, there's just.
well, you're not
just-
offering very much to them.
Yeah, you're
to
not
anyone
offering
else.
anything.
I don't know.
That's the rule.
I think
If you want to be a dick to
yeah.
people, take care of yourself and be fit.
At
So-
least look
yeah,
decent.
look nice while
make
you're
me,
doing it.
Make it okay for me to look at you.
Yeah.
No, don't be a dick. Nobody should be a dick. And
No,
everyone
yeah,
should
exactly.
care about themselves enough to fucking take care of themselves, and we should all promote knowledge
Mhm.
about, health.
Well, and some of that probably stems from they were probably never taught how to take
Of
care of
course.
themselves. So
Or the
I never
benefits
was.
of it.
Like I
It's
never
like-
had my parents
Yeah.
teach me proper dieting and exercise because my parents didn't
My parents
practice
didn't do that.
any of that stuff. Like I remember when I was a little kid, I had to eat all my vegetables, but
You didn't know
that
why
was-
or what.
yeah,
Who cares?
exactly.
It's just gross.
And
It's something they
so-
made you do.
You just have to think about it and do it of your own accord and. Do
It's
a little
funny how,
study.
like, when you're very little, they're like, eat all your vegetables. And then by the time you're like 12, they're like,
Eat
fucking
whatever
eat
fucking-
McDonald's. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
They
so
tried
weird.
for so long.
They tried for like a
couple.
couple years,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't care about this kid that much. I'm not gonna, I don't know. But, yeah, good stuff. I think we've hated on and
And promoted.
promoted
and,
a movie and hated on an entire class of people.
Basically, if you're fat, just go for a walk.
Yeah, go for a walk.
Just go
It's
for
a
a
great
walk.
place to start. And if you're on a walk and you look like you're trying, I'm not gonna fucking feel bad. I'll actually be proud of.
No, I'm
actually-
happy. Like I genuinely get not necessarily excited,
It's kind of-
but
it's
it kind of
empowering.
brightens my day when
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a person who's
Yeah.
trying to turn their life around. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a positive thing that doesn't hurt anybody and it isn't like,
Mm.
yeah, I like
I've
that.
had people like throw shit at me when I'm running,
That's weird.
which sucks. I've been hit in the head with a glass bottle before.
Really?
Yep. It was only
That's
happened
a
one time. But
Psychopath.
yeah, it was like a group of teenage guys in a car. They drove by and they were like shouted something at me, but I had my
They were
headphones
probably
in.
drunk.
And then they
hit
threw
you in
and
the
they
head.
fucking hit me in the back of the head with a bottle.
Oh, that's
I'm lucky
unnerving.
that I had like a beanie on because it might have fucking cut my head
Did it
open. I don't
break
know.
on your head?
It broke on the cement.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of like clipped
Oh,
me in the
that
head
could've
and hit the
knocked-
cement.
That
and
could have
broke.
killed you.
Yeah,
It's-
it was
it's the
just
bottom part
I was
that
just
hit
like,
you in the temple.
what the fuck? Like it didn't like full on hit me. It just
Right,
like
but it
clipped
could've.
the back of my
Yeah.
head as I was running. And just blew me away. It's like, what? I didn't even do any. I'm just on the sidewalk running.
The whole point is that you're
Yeah.
you're the kind of person, you're just anyone who isn't, going to be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And they're just.
Yeah, what am I
psychopaths.
gonna do? I'm just like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
And then I just kept running.
You just found a truck full of people who have no empathy.
Yeah.
Obviously, or else it would be hard to do that to you. Fucking assholes. Yeah, I don't know. That's scary. That's what, those are, different kinds of people.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw and hurt people, throw things at people.
I don't think I've ever had that feeling where I'm just like, oh, I don't know this person, but I'll just fucking throw something.
I don't either, yeah. Some people are just like, oh, I just want to hurt people. And I don't know. I mean,
I think if I don't like somebody, I'm just like, I really
Yeah.
want you to go away.
I think
Like,
I
just-
direct most of my anger at myself and just hurt myself, when and that's I think that it's either you hurt yourself or you hurt other people or you deal with your problems, in a healthy way. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue we're not going to have time to talk about. So let's end this debacle.
Debacle.
That should have been my word. Debacle.
Well, you got next week.
Debacle. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching on the YouTubes. Feel free to share this shit
Share it.
if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then I don't know why you fucking listened to this part. Because this is the very end.
Yeah, it's
We're already
very.
an hour
Like,
in.
if you stuck it out through this end,
Maybe
then there
there's
was something interesting.
Masochists. They just, they're like, I hate this, but I'm going to keep listening.
It could be. So thank you for being a masochist and sticking out to the end.
Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Masochist Central.
Meh.
Anyway.
Meh.
Meh.
It's a good way to end it
Yeah.
with meh.